Is that loud enough for you?
Yeah, a little louder maybe.
Okay.
Tiny bit.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah, that's good. And do I hear the bottom mic from the snare?
Yes.
Did you turn that down?
Yep. Down or off?
Yeah,
Down a bit.
maybe even off.
Okay, it's off.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Who needs it?
Huh?
Who needs it anyway?
I don't. I never want to hear it. I'm happy.
It's basic. I mean, after being sat in the studio recording for so long, for so many years with different artists, it's a relatively isolated existence when you're working in studios. And right now I'm enjoying the workshops because it's a chance for me to get out and spread my experience and knowledge around to people who, you know, can benefit from it and enjoy hearing stories about anecdotes of my experience with different musicians and working on different albums, you know. So it's good to get out there and it's also more rewarding on a daily basis. You know, we can do a workshop in a day and you get the kind of Glückshormone straight away, you know.
Ich selber bin Schlagzeuger, bin gerade bei einer Aufnahme zu einer CD und erhoffe mir einfach von dem Workshop mit erfahrenen Leuten so ein bisschen Know-how zu kriegen, was halt einfach Schlagzeugtuning, Schlagzeugaufnahme anbelangt. Und da freue ich mich einfach drauf, weil man ja sonst nicht die Möglichkeit hat, mit so bekannten Leuten einfach sich auszutauschen.
Mir geht es halt darum, vor allem durch welche Position man von einem Mikrofon welchen Sound hinbekommt und auch das allgemeine Schlagzeugstimmen dadurch, wie man dann was erreichen kann.
Aufmerksam wurde ich durch einen Freund, der mir einen Link zu einem Artikel von Styx geschickt hat. Und da ich das eventuell auch beruflich machen will, aber momentan im Hobbybereich bin, interessiert mich das halt schon sehr. Und habe ich mir gedacht, komm, machst du mal mit.
Ja, dann darf ich euch nochmal an dieser Stelle ganz recht herzlich begrüßen, ganz offiziell im Hause Abbey Institute. Freue mich, dass ihr alle da seid und möchte die Gelegenheit nutzen, euch ganz ein bisschen was zu erzählen, wer wir überhaupt sind und was wir hier treiben und was wir hier so gebaut haben. Also Abbey Institute ist eine Ausbildungsinstitution, die entstanden ist in Zusammenarbeit mit Abbey Studios und Universal Music. Und was bilden wir hier aus? Music, Production and Sound Engineering. Und der Schwerpunkt dieser Ausbildung heißt nicht nur an den Knöpfen rumzudrehen. Was uns alle antreibt, ist die Musik. Dann würde ich sagen, gehen wir mal los.
Ich bin Marc, ich bin Chefredakteur von Thema Drumrecording. Habe schon immer in Bands gespielt, irgendwie ganz früh als Kind schon Gitarre gespielt, Songs geschrieben. Bin dann auch über Home Recording, Band Recordings dann halt in den professionelleren Bereich gekommen. Was mich als Produzent und Engineer immer so ein bisschen herausgefordert hat, sage ich mal, war die Kommunikation mit den Musikern. Also vor allem auch die Kommunikation mit dem Drummer. Und das interessiert mich, glaube ich, heute am meisten.
Man liest überall, das und das Mikrofon, ja, das benutzt man jetzt immer für die Snare oder das ist jetzt was Neues, was total gut für ein bestimmtes Signal funktioniert. Nur wie klingt das denn überhaupt? Und über Sound zu schreiben, finde ich sowieso schon immer sehr, sehr schwierig, auch wo dann jeder sagt, ja, das klingt warm und das klingt offen. Aber was heißt das denn? Und wie klingt das denn im Vergleich zu was anderem? Und funktioniert das mit meinem Setup, funktioniert das mit meinem Drumkit oder nicht?
Ich versuche halt den Sound gleich so anzubieten, dass der Engineer möglichst wenig EQen muss und möglichst wenig Dinge machen muss, die ich auch mit dem Instrument herstellen könnte. Und immer wenn, ich liebe es auch, wenn ich einbezogen werde in die Prozesse, weil manchmal ist es so, dann spiele ich und im Control Room werden so Dinge besprochen, aber ich werde nicht einbezogen, weil dann finden sie irgendwie, dass die Snare zu wenig Low-End hat oder was auch immer. Wenn man mir das sagen würde, dann ist es für mich eine Möglichkeit, das am Instrument zu modifizieren, weil ja das nun mal das ist, was aufgenommen wird. Und erst danach, wenn man dann Einstellungen macht, dann modifiziert man den Sound. Deswegen bin ich immer sehr dafür, den Sound vor Mikrofon gut zu machen. Grundsätzlich bin ich ein Fan davon, die Trommeln tatsächlich so zu stimmen, dass sie überall gleich klingen. Wir können das ja auch mal konkret machen an dieser Snare hier. Das heißt, ist tatsächlich hier immer an den Schrauben. Ne? Da ist ein bisschen höher als da. Kann man das da noch hören? Genau. Ich stimme grundsätzlich mit 2 Stimmschlüsseln. Der Vorteil ist, erstens ist man schnell und zweitens kann man die hier so festziehen, dass man halt mit der Kraft, die man hier hat, also jetzt nicht mit aller Kraft, aber dass die gleichmäßig fest sind. Über Kreuz, ne? Alle Schrauben. Wenn man mehr, also das sind 8, wenn man 10 hat, was häufiger ist an Snares, dann geht man immer 2 weiter. Und was ich dann immer mache, ich zähle bis 5. 10 Schrauben durch 2, 5, ne? Weil sonst, man unterhält sich da doch immer dabei und dann vergesse ich, habe ich das jetzt schon und so weiter. Deswegen, okay, jetzt ist das Fell nur etwa gleichmäßig fest, aber klingt noch gar nicht, ne? Also so. Und dann ist wichtig, dass ihr nicht ab jetzt geht das Stimmen eigentlich los, dass ihr dann nicht so sagt, okay, ich mache jetzt mal richtig viel, sondern ich mache dann immer nur so eine Viertelumdrehung. Und dann immer gleichzeitig. Zwischendurch kann man dann tatsächlich immer schon mal gucken, wo bin ich jetzt gerade. Ne? Ist noch gar nicht gut, ne? So, und das ist der Moment, wo man zum ersten Mal guckt, wie ist denn jetzt das Fell? Und ihr werdet feststellen, dass immer die gegenüberliegenden Schrauben sich etwa gleich verhalten. Also die beiden sind beide höher als... Ja? Resonanzfell bei der Snare habe ich immer ziemlich stark angezogen.
Bretthart, ne?
Ja, bretthart trifft es eigentlich. Also wirklich... Ich fokussiere mich gar nicht darauf, was ich möchte, dass die Teilnehmer mitnehmen, weil ich habe immer das Gefühl, das kann man gar nicht so stark beeinflussen. Ich habe mal Jan Delay einen bestimmten Musikfilm geschickt, weil eine bestimmte Szene ich so treffend fand für den Aufnahmeprozess, in den wir gerade gesteckt haben. Und er hat sich diesen Film angeguckt und hat aber sich auf eine andere Szene fokussiert, die im Prinzip ein bisschen das Gegenteil dessen, was ich eigentlich damit erreichen wollte, ausgelöst hat. Insofern versuche ich gar nicht so zu denken, was könnten die Teilnehmer mitnehmen. Was ich mache, ist, dass ich die Sachen denen erzähle, die mir was gebracht haben und die für mich wichtig sind. Und dann kann es sein, dass es auch für die Teilnehmer wichtig ist oder für nur einen Teil der Teilnehmer. Und ich glaube, das kann man eh nicht beeinflussen. Irgendwelche Fragen?
Und live, hast du da auch Klick?
Nee. Ich fühle das immer richtig. Nee. Ey, das Ding ist mit dem Tempo und dem Fühlen, ne? Das ist einfach Quatsch. Das ist Blödsinn. Das hat so viel zu tun damit, wie man gerade drauf ist. Bin ich total müde? Oder was war der Song vorher? Ist der vielleicht 2 Beats langsamer als der Song danach? Und so weiter. Da gibt es so viele Sachen. Und dann hat jeder Musiker auf der Bühne, ohne dass er das weiß, eine Tempoerwartung und so weiter. Das heißt, für mich ist Tempo, ehrlich gesagt, eine Übereinkunft, die man in dem Moment trifft. Und am besten packen alle ihre persönlichen Präferenzen weg und erkennen kurz an, dass es nun mal einen Schlagzeuger gibt in der Band, der nun mal jetzt gerade halt einzählt. Und die besten Musiker, die hören das und alles klar, da ist das Tempo. Ich hätte jetzt gedacht, es ist da, aber nö, es ist jetzt da. Super. Und das Geile ist, wenn man ohne Klick spielt, dann hat man mehr Möglichkeiten, nämlich auch auf die Gefühle der anderen Musiker zu reagieren. Wenn ich einen Klick habe, das ist so kleiner Spielraum und der Gitarrist will das schneller und ich höre das, so, dann kann ich nichts machen. Wenn ich keinen Klick habe, kann ich immer automatisch, wird es homogener. Deswegen spiele ich live lieber ohne Klick.
Having a click when you're working inside the DAW gives you the ability, obviously, to be on the grid and quantize stuff and everything. And I think a lot of people would opt for that purely because it's easier to work with like that. You know, when you move from one chorus to the next, it's all on the grid. So sometimes what I do would be to record without the click and then make a tempo map so that you still have your grid. So you can still see it on the computer. So you still have a link to which bar you're at, and you do have the things just sort of moving up and down, which is really attractive sometimes.
Ja, und das ist halt sehr viel persönlicher Geschmack. Ich habe hier den Ricky Lawson, der mittlerweile verstorben ist, der hat ja bei Michael Jackson gespielt. Ne? Und Michael Jackson Shows im Stadion gingen auch immer richtig zur Sache. Das war ja nicht so, sondern es war richtig, yeah. Und dann habe ich ihn gefragt, hey, wenn du anfängst, ne? Wenn ihr die Show spielt und der erste Song kommt rein und der Sequenzer läuft, hast du manchmal das Gefühl, dass der Song zu langsam ist. Und dann meinte sie, ja, habe ich. Und dann habe ich, okay, was machst du dann? I take a deep breath.
I was really excited about working with Jost. Nickel, I've not worked with him before, but I've always really liked his playing. I think, as I said earlier, it's great to be able to pass on my knowledge and experience to the guests at the workshop, and I find I'm also learning a bit as well with the sound and recording team here. They've studied a lot more than I have on a few subjects, and it's nice to share the information they have as well. And I'm sort of also learning maybe about different techniques and stuff. So it all works. I think it's one thing, you know, when you hear people talk about subjects like phase and mic technique and mic positioning and acoustics, you know, you can't actually visualize it. And now that they're here, one thing I'd really love to do is for them to go home and really feel like they've understood by seeing and hearing maybe the problems that they've been having at home with miking stuff up and really sort of guiding them through that so that they can see how they can better what they're doing in the studio. So that from a sound engineering point of view, which mics work, where they best work, and how they best work together. And also, I think from Jost's point of view, you know, how to you know, let them see, you know, how the drum kit's tuned, how I react with Jost in a recording situation. It's nice to illustrate that so that they also have an idea of how to sort of communicate in the studio between each other and how to get the best results out of someone, you know. I mean, having a great musician in a room is great and it's an advantage, but you've got to know how to get the best out of him, you know. Before I would have even got here, I would have had a studio plan. Depending how many are going to be in the main recording room, that could determine where you put the drums. But if you're lucky enough just to have the drum kit on its own, you have the luxury of going around and finding out the best place to put it. I mean, when I came in here, we had it set up in the middle of the room, and it felt like the sound was I couldn't get the distance on the room mics, and it didn't sound focused enough. So we decided to move it back to here. I tend to just do the normal thing, clap my hands. I don't carry drums around, or just to check the reflections in the room, see what's coming back to me. And I don't know, it seems to be like an instinct thing for me now. It's just when I walk into the room, I hopefully find the sweet spot, as I do with putting the microphones. The other thing that's really important is once you've found the place, is just to sit and listen to the room with nothing happening. You know, can you hear any air conditioning? Can you hear any traffic? Can you hear the phone? That's, you know, in the stuff I record, it's, you know, if you're in recording very expensive musicians, a big project, and you've got some background noise later on that you can't get rid of, it's, you know, doesn't look great on your CV. Nice drum sound, Pete, but we can hear the phone ringing in every chorus, you know. Yeah, so moving on to the microphones. On the kick drum, we've got three options. We've got the Beta 91 right inside. It's the most sort of direct sound you can get. I like it. It's got a nice mid to high end on it, and is very useful in a mix. If you're losing the bass drum and you want to have a little bit more presence, you can use that. We've got another mic which you've put in, the M82 Telefunken, which the way we've got it at the moment, it's just sort of inside the hole, and just moving that around, you can get some interesting sounds. You know, pointing it to the edge of the skin, will get more resonance, and you'll get a bit more low end back there. And using that and the other mics inside, balancing them together, flipping the phase, you can get some nice surprises. You know, start getting even more low end. This one is very dominant, has a very dominant low end. One thing that I tend to worry about, though, going too far back, is that you are going to get a lot more of the kit on coming through on that mic. So you need to. One thing I do is build a tunnel from the bass drum out with like a blanket or a piano cover, or you know, sometimes it looks ridiculous, but you know, you can put 2 chairs here and here, and then bring this, or mic stands with a thing over, but somehow just put some absorbent material around it. It will deaden the sound of the kick drum, but it'll give you that sort of slightly ambient sound on the kick, but without all the other stuff going on around it. Tom-toms, we're using the Sennheiser 421s. Snare drum, we've got the condenser mic, the DPA 2011. The other mic is the Telefunken M80. Underneath there's the Bayer, is it the 201, which is that is the hypercardioid. I always like to leave the snare as undamped as possible. I mean, sometimes the resonance is what you want, you know, the ring is what you want. You know, you don't always want a dead sound. So, and I can show you in the control room, for example, on this overhead mic, the Earthworks overhead mic here, sounds really brilliant with a big compressor across it. That and the bass drum mic is enough. You know, that's a kind of, you know, Radiohead used that setup a lot with that sort of overhead mic and lots of compression. It can sound kind of trashy, but sometimes that's what you want to just make it sort of feel real, you know.
Sound check?
Sound check. Well, we're going to initially try and illustrate different sets of miking techniques. So from the multi-miking setup where we've got sort of 10, 15 mics on the kit, loads of different room mics. We'll do a take like that. We're using Simple Minds' New Gold Dream as a template to record new drums on it. So we'll work on the sort of multi-miking side of things first, and then slowly take microphones out of the setup and go to a simpler sort of setup, 4 mic setup, 3 mics, and then eventually 1 mic in the room, you know. And along the way, I'll be explaining what I'm doing. Also, you know, working with Jost. We're working to a click track, so making sure that his headphones are working optimally. And it's my sort of mission, I think, is to kind of show them, you know, obviously how to get to that point, but to show them how things sound when they're not right, so that they can put them right. And we've been showing them that by illustrating different phase positions and microphone techniques. We've got all the microphones coming in here, 1 to 25. These are the monitors here, the monitor faders, and these are the microphone volumes here. Also the mic gain up here. Yeah, and I've got, these are my mics on this side. This is the playback that we'll be overdubbing to of the Simple Minds track. We've already sort of set some of the sound up, so I would just ask Jost to just generally play around for me. Hello, Jost. You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
I just sort of asked you generally just to just play the kit for me. Maybe stay away from the cymbals just at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah? So that's the two silver mics, the coincident pair up the top. Out of phase. In phase. So you can hear if you get it wrong, you're losing a hell of a lot. Let's start bringing in the close mics now. This is our 91, the plate mic inside, no EQ. This is the M82.
Ja, im Loch.
Im Loch.
Yeah.
Telefunken. I've actually put a bit of EQ on that to make it sound nice. You know, sometimes what I do is if I'm picking up on a resonance that I don't like, is try and boost it to find out where it is. So I would be looking for that on a very narrow bandwidth. Just go through the EQ and find out exactly where is that I'm hearing, and then whoosh, get it out. You know, I'd say it's somewhere around here. There you go. So, you know, just get rid of it. The two mics working together, let's see what that sounds like. It's the plate mic. So that's bringing them both in together. That's the phase. Phase is normal. Yeah. So there's not much difference in the phase when you switch it in and out. I would possibly ask, to me it sounds, Jost, it sounds to me like you could just tune the kick drum just down, just a notch.
Okay.
And that might get rid of the hum, you know, just take it lower a bit. I'm just hearing a sort of low mid resonance, which maybe we can get rid of with the tuning. Yeah, it's still hanging around, that sound. Yeah, I think it's probably the position. There you go. Gone. Stop. Do you hear it go just then? I believe, from what I could see, all he did was just move the mic slightly to the right. Yeah, so it's just finding that sweet spot. Stefan, you just moved it how many inches to the right?
I moved it maybe an inch to the right and 2 inches in.
Okay, so I tried with EQ. I tried to get him to tune it differently. Both of those didn't really help. Well, the EQ helped a lot, but you don't want to rely on EQ. It's much better to get the sound right out there, have the microphone in the right position. Okay, and now you're going to do the DPA. Sounding a lot fuller. Thank you, sir. Very good. So let's hear the snare drum, I guess. This is the Telefunken. To compare that, I had a 57 Shure SM57 on it last night. This mic sounds a little more present to me than that.
But it's more evened out.
It sounds nice.
The presence.
Yeah.
It has all the presence, but it's not a bump.
No, that's right. Yeah, yeah. It feels quite smooth.
Nice body.
I was going to say, that sounds nice. That sounded nice. That's out underneath. I haven't got any EQ on it, but when he's playing the kit, I would normally filter out some low end on that. So we top mic, both of them. Flip the phase, did you hear that? Out of phase. In phase. More body. Let's move on to the toms if you can, thanks. Okay. A favourite EQ of mine to take out is around 560 hertz. It's this sound. That's around 500. That's taking it out. It just defines it more. When I was an assistant, I worked with one of my chief engineers at the studio, was a guy called James Guthrie, who engineered The Wall for Pink Floyd. And I was lucky enough, one weekend he came back with all the tapes from The Wall, and we had to do rough mixes of everything, sort of work in progress. And after he'd gone, I looked at the console, just had a look at the EQs and stuff, and I know that one EQ doesn't fit everything, but every time I worked with him, he always took the same frequency out of the toms, and that was 560 hertz, and that just seems to work on tom-toms. Somewhere around there is good to take out. Thanks, Jost. Thanks, you're doing great. Sorry, I'm doing a bit of explaining here, so are you sure? I'm sorry to keep you. Occasionally, I mean, exactly what's just happened there. I forgot that he was actually playing. So you've got to like be aware of the fact that he is a human out there, and I guess you don't want him to lose all his energy before the take. So
That's good.
Okay, when I mix it, I really don't have a theory to that. I just somehow have an instinct of where things should be, and balancing elements together. You know, like if there's a rhythm guitar, I'll usually, you know, I can put it on the right, but I'll make sure that there's something on the left that's kind of in balance with it, you know. It's just critical with the drums. It must be something to do with the way your brain works, because I always have like left and right, I have high and low. You know, orchestrally, you would, on the right, you would have the high strings, the strings 1, strings 2, violas, cello, basses. Unless you were rock and roll, where you'd have strings 1, strings 2, viola, cello, basses. But to me, everything goes high to low. If I've got a stereo delay, the first delay that hits is going to be on the left. So it ping-pongs from the left to the right. Everything for me goes from left to right. I even drive on the left-hand side of the road.
Oh, you don't drive here?
No, I do drive here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on the left-hand side.
I try not to drive on the left-hand side.
Yeah. So the radio is talking about you.
That's it, Geisterfahrer.
Yeah.
Let's hear the different room mics. Spaced pair. You know, that's the widest we can get. That's in mono. Stereo. Check the phase. So they're in phase. So that's the TLMs. Let's have a listen to the do it.
The stereo is way better.
The stereo is way better, but it also sounds, to me, it doesn't sound as focused in the mono. As it feels almost like the phase is not as good on the levels as the others. I think the TLMs, the phase works better on the bass drum. That's the TLMs. And that's which is cool if you wanted to have a room sound with less kick drum on it.
Let's listen to the Royals,
The Royals, yes, which I'm looking forward to that. Sound very wonderfully smooth.
Yeah.
Last microphone to hear is the Earthworks overhead. Thanks. One more time, please. It's quite a nice balanced sound, just the one over his head.
Die Tom kommt auch gut irgendwie.
Yeah.
Das kommt nicht schlecht so.
All you need really is just a little bit of, you know. You got so many, with a microphone like that, you have so many options with EQ, you know, to really change the sound, you know.
Okay. Solo wird es jetzt so klingen. Relativ gefiltert, untenrum passiert auch nicht so viel. Mitten sind drin, aber keine Bässe oder irgendwas. Und wenn ich das jetzt reinfahre, das sind nur die Close Mics. Dann kriege ich eine dicke Snare. Das wäre jetzt auch schon das erste 2-Mikrofon-Setup. Ne? In Mono, ein Overhead, ein Kick, fertig.
I'm rather looking forward to hearing the
Lewitts.
I'll take the TLMs out.
Yeah.
We can just hear how. Thanks, Jost. Last set, just to illustrate here, the Lewitts. Great.
Yeah, it works good.
You know, it's a useful set of ambience to have. It's got a slight delay on it, so feels like it's adding another dimension to the kit. So I much prefer those mics now. They're pointing away from the kit as when they were pointing at the kit. They were doing nothing for me before, but they sound nice.
Yeah, I think we can give it a go.
Yeah.
Okay, should we take a break before we take the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jost. It's interesting that we should play it now because the drum track is actually, I had two drummers playing at the same time. We had Mel Gaynor playing, who still plays with them now, and we had their old drummer. It was a situation where we were putting the backing tracks down, and the original drummer wasn't making the grade. He wasn't sort of playing as we wanted him to, so we had to find somebody else to come in. And then we got Mel Gaynor in, who was a friend of mine. And as a kind of diplomatic move, I said, well, look, why don't you both play on this song? And I'll just play it to you quickly now. These are the drums. So there's no editing, nothing. This was analog. Nothing was moved. This is as they played it. Because of the limitations of 24 track, they got 4 tracks each. So I had kick and snare and then kit with toms, everything subgrouped down. Okay. How are you feeling?
Good.
Fantastic. Let's go for it. Yeah? Okay. This is what he's hearing. And that's running from these cues here on the top. That's
Nice. With the loop, it's great.
it's a great vibe, you know. And you hear how tight he is with the click, you know, he's not even thinking about it. Remix version. Fantastic, Jost. Let me play it to you, Jost. With the ribbon mics in now, which the ribbon. The idea is, I mean, obviously to have loads of options for later, so I've got so many. I mean, I wouldn't normally record that many different options, but it's definitely, you can take that performance you could take in any direction you wanted. You know, it's a great close mic sound, and there's like four options for room sounds. So, you know, as you can see, they're moving the mics.
Yeah, we're not allowed to.
Ich klemme quasi das Kabel einmal an der Kickdrum fest und dann spanne ich das zu dem hinteren Mikro, damit es genau an dieser Stelle hängt. So. Und gehe dann aufs Center der Snare. Dann ist das der eine Abstand. Und jetzt müsste ich ein bisschen größer sein, also normalerweise geht das. Aber wenn jetzt jemand genau diesen Teil übernimmt, einmal tief einatmet. Okay, ich versuche. Jo, ich hab's.
Ja.
Okay, warte, ich drehe es einmal. So, wenn ich den übernehme, dann komme ich hier an den Grill. Das heißt, ich habe den gleichen Abstand von dem hinteren Mikrofon zu dem oberen Mikrofon. Damit sind Kick und Snare genau in der Mitte. Und wenn ich dann das Kick-Mic, wir nehmen nur das Telefunken und das andere Telefunken, wenn ich die beide reinschiebe, müssen wir halt nur einmal die Phase checken, aber prinzipiell habe ich genau dieses 2-Mic-Set. Gleich, die zweite Variante ist, wir rücken mit dem näher ran, machen diese Glyn-Johns-Variante, das wäre Recorderman. Für Glyn-Johns gehen wir mit dem Overhead ein bisschen weiter nach vorne, gehen mit dem ein bisschen weiter rein und machen halt nur den Abstand zur Snare.
What's interesting is also that you're still getting the quite a good stereo image with the left cymbal and the right cymbal. You can still hear it sort of on either side, you know. Yeah, so for me, it definitely to complete the sound there, it needs more.
Yeah.
Needs the room involved as well.
I liked it better with the direct mics.
Yeah.
Let's try the second one.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, so also jetzt ist es Glyn-Johns. Wir lassen trotzdem Kick und Snare noch dran, damit man halt das Material hat. Der Abstand zum Overhead, das ist ein bisschen weiter vorgerückt, ist jetzt so zwischen Snare und kleiner Tom. Und das andere ist an der tiefen Tom, aber sehr gerade. Deswegen nimmt es halt nicht nur die tiefe Tom auf, sondern zielt natürlich Richtung Snare und Hi-Hat.
Add some low end and a bit of high. Sounds a lot snappier. This.
Die Attacks sind da, ne?
Yeah, the snare is much better. Okay, we're done. Thank you. So you want to hear just the overheads? That's the Thema Harvest, no EQ.
Genau, die Snare ist super snappy.
More EQ.
Und man denkt, was jetzt fehlt, das Einzige, was wirklich fehlt, ist die Kick.
It's the click, yeah.
Und wenn du die leise, kann auch leise dazu kommen. Und ich finde auch so, es ist schon ziemlich snappy. Man könnte ein bisschen was an Kompression machen, um noch ein bisschen mehr Attack aus der Snare rauszukitzeln, aber eigentlich ist es schon ziemlich genau da.
And if the room's balanced and you haven't got a lot of reflections which are going to make the image confused.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that room out there is very linear, so it works like that, you know.
Ich wechsle noch mal ganz kurz auf das, was ihr davor aufgenommen habt. Ich schalte jetzt mal rüber auf das Glyn-Johns. Da merkt man sofort, ne, alles wird tighter.
Yeah. And you're closer.
Und punchiger. Die Snare wird viel punchiger. Diese ganze Räumlichkeit geht raus. Nochmal zurück.
I like it when you just put a little bit of kick in there because it just shows you where the kick is, just defines it a lot more. Yeah? Yeah.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Wir von Sound Recording sind sehr zufrieden. Es war ein super Workshop und ich glaube, die Teilnehmer konnten einiges mitnehmen und sind mit neuem Wissen nach Hause gegangen.
Wir haben super Sound hier im Abbey Road Institute hingekriegt. Aufnahmeraum klingt klasse, Peter hat einen super Job gemacht, Jost hat sowieso grandios getrommelt.
Auch die Kommunikation mit Peter, man hat einfach gemerkt, dass die beiden echt langjährige Erfahrungen haben im Studio. Ne? Ja, die Motivation war ja, dass wir es schaffen, die Teilnehmer in eine Recording-Situation zu bringen, wo sie ja dann auch die Möglichkeit haben, mit prominenten Engineers und Musikern wie Jost und Peter zu arbeiten.
Also es war wirklich so zu gucken, wie funktioniert es, wie läuft es im richtigen Studio ab und wo sind die Probleme, wie werden die gelöst, wie kriegt man den Sound hin, den man haben möchte.
Cool. Trip ist vorbei. Ich glaube, das war's.